Hey, what is up, guys? I am here to give you guys a video that I really wasn't planning on making ahead of time, but I was just sitting here going through some wrestling articles, the usual, and I came upon this strange article that I really think I need to read out loud, and I'll post the article down in the description box below so you guys can see it. Alright, so the article was called Spike TV Doesn't Renew TNA Impact. So yeah, that's not good because that was TNA's TV time, and now it doesn't look like TNA is gonna have much TV time. But I'll go through the article a little bit more. Despite the last-ditch effort to impress Spike TV officials at the recent Impact tapings in New York City, the network has not chosen to renew the weekly wrestling show, according to TMZ. It's not yet clear when Impact will cease airing, but it will most likely be in October when the contract officially expires. This gives them plenty of time to seek other opportunities. At this stage, it certainly does not mean that this is the end of TNA. They certainly have several international TV deals and projects ongoing, such as those with Challenge TV in the UK. That was in parentheses, by the way, and could conceivably attract another network with their relatively stable with ratings history. TNA's future is solely down to the Carter family and whether they feel it's worthy proceeding. Dixie's father bought the majority stake in the company from Jerry Jarrett. I don't know, I think it's supposed to say Jeff Jarrett because it says Jerry Jarrett. Way back in 2002 through Panda Energy, and has stuck around ever since. This was before the Impact show even existed, and there's been times when they've been between TV deals before. Unlike WWE, that stands for World Wrestling Entertainment, all of TNA's, and I should mention that TNA stands for Total Non-Stop Action, investment in privately held, thus they aren't shareholders to keep happy. They may have certain debts to answer for, however, that's essentially all of their own back. Recent budget cuts were not because they were running out of money, because they chose to stop funneling as much more in. In other words, it all came crashing down when they only, despite to pull the plug. Now, obviously, the budget cuts were a sign that perhaps the Carters were getting frustrated with the lack of profitability, and with rumors that they were open to a sale. One has to wonder whether losing Spike TV isn't the last straw, but we won't know until we know. Perhaps most interesting is the status of Jeff Jarrett, who's slowly launching his own promotion, and if the hype is to believe it, working on a national TV deal himself. Jarrett kept 29% of TNA where the Carters came on board, and still holds the minority position today. If the Carters ever did pull out Jarrett and could potentially buy the company back, or if they sold it to somebody else, Jeff could re-emerge in a prominent position. So yeah, TNA is not in October is not going to be on Spike TV anymore because Spike TV is not going to renew their contract. And there's probably a bunch of reasons. I have a feeling one of them is ratings. Not enough people is probably watching the company, and why would you want to after what I was seeing? Because if you noticed, there hasn't been any TNA reviews up because I haven't watched the company since, I think, May. It's July. I haven't watched it for 2 months. I haven't even talked about TNA for 2 months. I had a game plan. I was going to not watch TNA until Bound for Glory 2014. I was going to do a review of that show, and if it was good, I would start watching TNA again. But it doesn't look like that might happen because there might not even be a Bound for Glory because TNA is not going to have the TV shows. I mean, it's just that simple, right? Unless they're going to still do pay-per-views, but we'll see. But TNA, their TV shows were the big deal because they only had 4 pay-per-views a year, and if they lose the TV show, then they're screwed. Unless they find another TV deal with Sci-Fi or the USA Network or the WWE is or something. Not at the same time, because if they did the Monday Night Wars today, TNA would lose. But anyhow, I guess I'll talk. I mean, let's take a look at what was going on, though, with TNA. I mean, you had Eric Young as the world champion. That was actually pretty good. I did like Eric Young as a world champion. But then randomly, MVP was a heel. They turned MVP heel. I don't know really why. They had him go in this random group called with Kenny Ken and Bobby Lashley. I mean, there was just random feuds going on with, like, Mr. Kennedy and James Storm, or as they call him, Mr. Anderson. Random feuds. I mean, the Wolves had the American Wolves, which is Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. So they were just doing really nothing. The X Division, they never pushed the X Division. They had Sonata as the X Division champion. They didn't do anything with him. They had Jeff Hardy be Willow, which Jeff Hardy has more potential than that. And he never really did any other moves. He just did the basic moves. At least with Cody Rhodes, with Stardust, he's doing different moves. They had this weird storyline with Magnus, how they had to have this little monster come out of him, which I didn't understand, and he was like tag teaming with this guy named Bram or something. That was weird. I mean, TNA just wasn't enjoyable anymore. I didn't want to watch the company anymore, so I just stopped. I didn't even want to watch TNA Slammiversary. I did prediction videos on it, but I was just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to go play Xbox. I played WWE 2K14. So, yeah. They don't even have, like, the stars that they had. They don't have AJ Styles. He went to Ring of Honor now. They don't have Bad Influence, which consists of Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. They also went to Ring of Honor. They lost Hulk Hogan, which actually was a good thing, but they had that name in there. Now Hulk Hogan's back with WWE. Who else did they lose? They lost a lot of the X Division stars. I never really saw much of Suicide, or now he's known as today as Manic. Let's talk about that. You're supposed to have a masked wrestler, but the wrestler's never supposed to show his face and be revealed. So what's the point of being masked? Like when he would cut promos, he would have his mask off, but when he wrestles, he'd have his mask on. What's the point of that? They really ruined Suicide. Who else did they lose? They lost Matt Morgan. They released a ton of their talent, I think, last year. Probably around this time period when they started losing a bunch of money. They lost Sting, and Sting was like the guy that they always went to. They lost Sting. Now he's coming to the WWE, which I'll talk about in a future video. He's actually going to be in WWE 2K15, which I'm going to pre-order soon. I mean, yeah, the TNA just got screwed. No one ever really went to their shows. They had to cancel shows because nobody went to them. I held lockdown for TNA lockdown 2014. There was nothing. I think Bobby Roode left, I think. I don't know if Bobby Roode left or not, because it was this point in time where we didn't see Bobby Roode on TV. Bully Ray, by the way, was in a stupid feud, too, with Dixie Carter, where he wanted to get his hand on Dixie Carter, but, yeah, it was just bad. So TNA was bad. It's their own fault. They had the opportunities. They have the TV ratings, but no. They just ruined it and blew it. Maybe now this is an opportunity. Maybe Jeff Jarrett's company can come in there, because I know he has a company. Maybe Ring of Honor can go to Spike TV, because I'd like to watch some Ring of Honor. Maybe like some wrestling companies now can come to, maybe like some of the minor wrestling companies. That'd be cool. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Kind of glad. So, in the thumbnail, you're going to see all the WWE superstars standing on the stage to pay tribute to the memory of TNA Impact, because TNA is done. It is over from 2002 all the way to 2014. So TNA, I hate you and I never respected you.